All right, so we're going to do a deep dive today into credit scores.
Okay.
You really went all out and got a ton of sources.
Yeah.
It seems like you really want to get a handle on this 3-digit number
Yeah, absolutely.
and really understand how much power it has.
It's so important.
Yeah, whether you're getting ready to buy like a house or a car
For sure.
or just want to be better with your money in general,
Yeah,
you got to understand this score.
really do.
It's essential.
Absolutely. And what I think is so interesting about credit scores
Yeah.
is how much they can impact your life. It's not just about getting a loan. We're talking like better interest rates,
Oh, yeah.
easier to rent an apartment.
Wow.
Even some jobs look at your credit score.
That's crazy.
It's like this hidden language
Yeah.
that unlocks so many opportunities.
You're right about that.
Yeah.
And speaking of unlocking opportunities,
Okay.
one of the sources you sent was Sue Zorman.
Oh, yeah, she's great.
And she said, a good credit score is the key to unlocking the doors to financial independence.
I love that.
So let's just break this down.
Okay.
A credit score is usually between 300 and 850, and it basically sums up how risky you are as a borrower.
Makes sense.
At least that's according to companies like FICO.
Uh-huh.
And the higher your score,
Yep.
the more lenders trust that you're going to pay them back.
Because they want to make sure they're going to get their money back.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So to build that trust,
Okay.
we need to understand the 5 key factors that make up your score.
Okay, so 5 things.
5.
Got it.
But these aren't all created equal.
Okay.
Some of them have a lot more influence than others.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, the most important factor is your payment history,
Okay, makes sense.
which makes up a whopping 35% of your score.
Wow. 35%, that's a lot.
Yeah, so this is where another one of the sources you sent,
Okay.
Dave Ramsey,
Oh, yeah, I love Dave Ramsey.
he lays down the law. He says, the fastest way to ruin your credit is to miss payments.
He's not wrong.
And he's not exaggerating.
Nope.
If you think about it from a lender's perspective, your willingness to pay on time is the biggest indicator of whether or not they're going to get their money back.
For sure.
So those late payments,
Yeah,
they can really sting,
we really do.
especially when it comes to your score.
Got it.
So next up,
Okay.
we've got credit utilization,
Okay.
which comes in at 30% of your score.
Wow, that's also a lot.
Yeah, this one can be tricky
Okay.
to wrap your head around,
Yeah.
but it's all about how much of your available credit you're actually using.
Okay.
So let's say you have a credit card
Okay.
with a $10,000 limit
All right.
and you're carrying a $5,000 balance. That means that you are utilizing 50%
Oh, I see.
of your available credit.
Okay.
And Credit Repair Kit for Dummies
Oh, yeah, good book.
points out
Mm.
that you want to aim for a utilization rate below 30%.
Below 30?
They say the lower your credit card balance is relative to your credit limits, the better.
That makes sense.
Why?
Yeah, why is that?
Because high utilization can signal to lenders that you might be relying too heavily on credit,
Oh, okay.
which can make them think twice
Yeah.
about lending you more.
They don't want to give you more if you're already using a lot.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like walking a tightrope.
Okay.
You need to find that sweet spot where you're using credit enough
Yeah.
to demonstrate responsible behavior,
Uh-huh.
but not so much that you appear overextended.
You're right.
Now, let's shift gears a little bit
Sure.
to a factor that actually rewards you for being a long-term borrower,
Oh, interesting.
the length of your credit history.
Okay.
This one accounts for 15% of your score.
15%. Got it.
And Anthony Davenport explains this in your score.
Okay.
He says, a long credit history demonstrates stability.
Stability.
Lenders love to see that you've been managing credit responsibly
Makes sense.
for a while.
Yeah.
Like a long-term relationship,
Huh?
the more history you have,
Yeah.
the more trust is built.
More trust.
So don't go closing those old accounts
Ooh.
thinking you're doing yourself a favor. You might actually be hurting your score
Oh, wow.
by shortening your credit history.
Interesting.
Remember, consistency and longevity matter.
They do.
Now up next, we've got types of credit,
Okay, different types.
which weighs in at 10% of your score.
10%. Okay.
This factor is all about showing lenders
Okay.
that you can handle different types of credit responsibly, not just credit cards.
So, like, what?
We're talking about loans,
Okay.
mortgages,
Uh-huh.
maybe even a store credit account.
Oh.
The key here is diversity,
Okay.
but not just for the sake of it. It's about demonstrating
Yeah.
responsible management across the board.
Across the board.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Don't rush out and open a bunch of new accounts just to check this box.
Yeah, just to have.
Focus on using the credit you have responsibly
Okay.
and strategically.
Got it.
Speaking of strategy,
Okay.
let's talk about the final factor,
All right.
which also makes up 10% of your score.
10. 10%.
New credit inquiries.
New credit inquiries.
So every time you apply for credit,
Okay.
whether it's for a credit card or a loan,
Yeah.
lenders pull your credit report to check you out.
Oh, okay.
This is called a hard inquiry.
Hard inquiry.
And too many of them in a short period of time
Yeah.
can raise some red flags.
Oh, that makes sense.
Ramit Sethi,
Oh, I like him.
the author of I Will Teach You to Be Rich,
Great book.
puts it perfectly.
Okay, what does he say?
He says, be strategic about applying for new credit. Too many inquiries can hurt your score.
That's good advice.
Think about it from the lender's point of view.
Okay.
If they see a bunch of hard inquiries,
Yeah.
they might think you're desperate for credit
Oh.
or taking on more than you can handle,
Yeah, that makes sense.
which can make them hesitant to lend to you.
They don't want to lend to someone who's already overextended.
It's all about being mindful of the signals you're sending
Yeah.
to potential lenders.
Got it.
Applying for credit isn't a bad thing in itself,
Yeah.
but doing it too frequently
Yeah.
can make you look risky.
That makes sense.
So there you have it.
Okay.
The 5 key factors that make up your credit score.
Got it.
We've covered a lot of ground here.
We have.
And you might be thinking, okay, I get it, but what can I actually do
Yeah.
to improve my score?
Exactly.
Get ready, because we're about to dive into
Yeah.
the actionable steps
Right.
you can take
Yeah.
to boost that number
Yeah.
and unlock those financial opportunities.
Can't wait.
But first, a quick word from our sponsor.
All right. Welcome back to the deep dive. So now we've broken down what makes up your credit score.
Yeah.
How about we get into the actual stuff you can do
Yeah, the nitty-gritty.
to improve?
Yeah, let's roll up our sleeves.
Exactly. Your sources have a lot of practical tips.
Yeah.
Let's get into it.
It's funny.
What's that?
Sometimes the simplest advice is the most powerful.
Yeah.
And when it comes to credit scores,
Okay.
it doesn't get much simpler than this.
Okay.
Pay your bills on time
Seriously.
every single time.
Oh my gosh, I know, right?
I know.
So obvious.
It sounds so obvious, but this is the foundation
Yeah,
of a healthy credit score.
it's true.
It really is.
It is.
Remember, payment history
Mm-hmm.
makes up 35% of your score.
35%.
So even just one late payment
Mm-hmm.
can have like a pretty big impact.
They really can.
And it's not even just about avoiding those late fees. It's about showing lenders that you're reliable,
You're trustworthy.
that you're trustworthy.
Yeah. Yeah.
One of your sources, The Richest Man in Babylon,
Ooh, a classic.
puts it really well.
What do they say?
Better a little caution than a great regret.
That's good.
Setting up those automatic payments.
Oh, yeah.
Or even just using calendar reminders can really save you
Yeah.
a lot of heartache down the road.
Totally.
Trust me, a little diligence goes a long way.
For sure.
Now let's talk about another big one.
Okay, what's that?
Credit card debt.
Ooh, yeah.
Having high balances on your cards
Yeah.
can really drag your score down.
Makes sense.
Remember that credit utilization ratio we were talking about earlier?
The 30% thing,
Yeah, you want to keep it below 30%.
right below 30.
If you're carrying around a lot of credit card debt,
Okay.
it's really important to start chipping away at those balances,
Yeah.
even making small payments,
Uh-huh.
but consistently
Yeah.
can make a big difference over time.
Over time.
And don't fall into that trap
What trap?
of closing your old accounts,
Okay.
thinking it's going to magically erase the debt.
Yeah, just get rid of it.
It doesn't work like that.
No.
Closing old accounts can actually backfire
No, how?
because it can shorten your credit history,
Oh,
which we know is an important factor.
it's one of the 5.
Yeah, Rachel Cruz,
Oh, yeah, I like her.
another one of your sources,
Uh-huh.
gave some really good advice on this.
Okay, what'd you say?
She said, keep old accounts open, even if you're not using them.
That's interesting.
Think of it this way.
How?
Those older accounts
Yeah.
are like the veterans on your credit team.
Okay.
They've been around for a while.
Uh-huh.
They have a proven track record, and they add depth and stability
Gotcha.
to your overall credit profile.
So keep them around,
Keep them around.
even if you're not using them.
Exactly.
Interesting.
Now, here's a tip that might surprise you.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
Become a credit detective.
What?
You got to regularly check your credit reports.
From all 3 bureaus.
From all 3.
Okay.
Spear and Equifax,
Uh-huh.
TransUnion.
Okay.
You would be amazed
I bet.
at how many errors
Yeah.
can just sneak in there
Really?
and lower your score without you even realizing it.
Wow.
Credit Repair Kit for Dummies
Book again.
has this crazy statistic.
What is it?
They say a single error on your report can lower your score by as much as 50 points.
50 points? Yeah.
50. That's huge.
That's a lot.
But the good news is,
Yeah, what's the good news?
disputing errors is usually a pretty straightforward process.
Okay, so it's fixable.
It's fixable. It's like finding hidden treasure.
Uh-huh.
A simple fix that can boost your score significantly.
I like it.
Now, remember what we were talking about earlier?
What's that?
Hard inquiries. Applying for credit too often can make you look risky.
Makes you look desperate.
Yet to lenders.
Yeah.
Be strategic about when you apply for new credit.
Okay.
Don't just jump at every offer that comes your way. It's like being at a buffet.
Ooh, I like buffets.
You don't want to fill up on appetizers and then miss out on the main course.
Exactly. I gotta save room.
Choose your applications wisely and only apply when you really need to.
When you really need it.
Another one of your sources, Your Money or Your Life,
Okay.
emphasizes this.
Yeah.
They say, the best way to improve your credit is to be patient and strategic.
I like that.
So this is all great advice.
Yeah.
If you already have an established credit history.
Yeah.
But what about those who are just starting out?
Yeah, those people.
Yeah, building credit from scratch can feel really daunting.
It can.
But it's totally doable.
It is.
It's like learning any new skill. It takes time and effort and the right guidance.
Yeah, you need the right information.
And luckily, you sent some excellent sources
Oh, good.
that offer strategies for building credit from scratch.
Let's hear them.
All right, so one of the most effective ways
Okay.
to dip your toes into the credit world
Okay.
is with a secured credit card.
Tier card.
These cards are like training wheels for your credit.
Oh, okay. I like that analogy.
You make a security deposit
Okay.
up front,
Uh-huh.
which basically becomes your credit limit.
So you're putting your own money down.
Exactly.
Got it.
Which minimizes the risk for both you and the lender.
That makes sense.
And as you use the card responsibly
Yeah.
and make your payments on time,
On time.
you start to build up a positive credit history,
Okay.
which can then help you qualify
Yeah.
for those unsecured cards down the line.
Awesome.
Another smart strategy
Hey, what's this one?
is to become an authorized user
Okay.
on someone else's credit card,
Ooh.
preferably someone with a really good credit history.
Someone who's got it figured out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Of course, this comes with a big caveat.
Okay.
You have to make sure that the primary cardholder
Yeah.
is someone that you trust
Yeah. Someone responsible.
implicitly
Yeah.
and who has excellent credit habits.
Because their behavior is going to impact you.
Exactly, because their behavior
Yeah.
directly impacts your credit score.
Got it.
It's like sharing a car. You want to make sure the other driver is responsible.
Yeah, they're following the rules of the road.
Exactly, and following the rules of the road.
Yeah.
Now, if you're ready to take on a bit more responsibility yourself,
Okay.
you could consider taking out a small loan,
A small loan.
like a personal loan
Uh-huh.
or a credit builder loan.
Interesting.
I know this might seem a little counterintuitive
It does, yeah.
to take on debt to build
Grow-
credit,
Yeah.
but it can actually be a really powerful strategy.
Okay.
So by borrowing a small amount
Okay.
and then making consistent on-time payments,
Uh-huh.
you're demonstrating to lenders that you can handle debt
You're responsible.
responsibly.
Yeah.
It's like lifting weights.
Okay.
You start with those lighter weights
Yeah.
to build up your strength and then gradually increase the load as you go.
As you get stronger.
Exactly. And remember what Robert Kiyosaki said?
Oh, yeah. And Rich Dad, Poor Dad?
Yeah.
What do you say?
Credit can be your best friend or your worst enemy. It all comes down to how you use it.
How you use it.
So whether you're a seasoned credit pro
Okay.
or you're just starting out,
Uh-huh.
there are definitely steps you can take
Yeah.
to improve your credit score.
Absolutely.
It's a journey, not a destination.
It's a marathon, not a sprint.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But the rewards of having good credit
Yeah.
are so worth it.
They really are.
It's interesting how our relationship with credit can be so complex.
Yeah.
We've been talking about all the practical
The
steps.
numbers, the strategies.
Yeah, all that stuff. But there's this whole other side
Oh, really?
to credit and debt that we often overlook.
What's that?
The psychology of it all.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Our emotions, our beliefs, and our behaviors
Mm-hmm.
play a huge role in how we manage our finances.
That makes sense.
So let's dive into that.
Okay.
We're going to explore how our mindset and emotions can really influence our financial decisions.
I'm fascinated.
This is where things get really interesting.
I can't wait.
Welcome back to the deep dive. So we've been talking about credit scores,
Yeah. All the ins and outs of how they work,
how to improve them,
the strategies.
all that good stuff.
Yeah.
But as we wrap up this deep dive,
Okay.
let's zoom out a little bit
Okay.
and look at the bigger picture,
All right.
how credit impacts our society
Our society as a whole.
as a whole.
Okay. Yeah.
It's really fascinating to me
Oh, it is.
how credit acts as this underlying force
Mm.
shaping so much of our world.
Yeah.
It allows businesses to grow.
Right.
It allows people to buy homes.
Yeah.
Governments can invest in infrastructure.
Uh-huh.
In a lot of ways, it's the engine
It
that
is.
keeps our modern economy running.
It's true. It's like
Yeah.
this invisible web
Yeah.
that connects us all.
But just like any powerful tool,
Uh-huh.
there's always a flip side.
There's always another side to the coin.
Yeah. Credit can be a really powerful force for good,
For sure.
but it can also perpetuate inequalities
Oh, yeah.
and even lead to financial instability if it's not managed responsibly.
If people aren't careful.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a really important point.
It is.
Access to affordable credit.
Yeah.
It's not a level playing field.
Unfortunately, no.
Factors like race and gender.
Socioeconomic background
Yeah, all of that.
can create these huge disparities
Yeah.
in credit scores,
Uh-huh.
interest rates,
Loan approval.
the whole thing.
The whole thing. Yeah, and that can make it so much harder for certain groups to
Yeah.
build
To
wealth
start businesses.
just to make ends meet.
You have a lot of sources in here
I do.
that highlight this issue of credit inequality.
Yeah, it's a real problem.
It's a big problem. It's like this hidden barrier
It is.
that prevents people from really fully participating
Yeah.
in our economic system.
In the system we have.
Yep.
And it's something that we need to work on.
We do.
We need to address it.
And it's not just individuals.
No.
Policymakers, financial institutions,
Community organizations.
everyone has a role to play
Everyone.
in promoting greater credit equity.
Yeah.
It's about creating a system that works for everyone.
For everyone, not just a select few.
Exactly.
Now zooming out even further.
Okay, even further,
Let's talk about the global impact.
the global impact of credit.
Yeah.
So the flow of credit
Okay.
across borders
Uh-huh.
is so crucial
It is.
for international trade and economic
That's
development.
true.
But it also
How
means
does it mean?
that financial shocks
Oh, yeah.
in one part of the world
Yeah.
can quickly spread
Right.
and impact credit markets
Uh-huh.
and stability globally. The 2008 financial crisis
Ooh, yeah, that was a big one.
is a really stark reminder
Yeah.
of how interconnected
And fragile.
and fragile, our credit system can be.
It's like this delicate ecosystem
It is.
where one little disruption
Yeah.
can have a huge impact.
Throw everything off balance.
Exactly.
So it really highlights the need
For what?
for responsible lending practices,
Mm-hmm.
strong financial regulations,
Yep.
and global cooperation to make sure that we have a stable and sustainable financial system.
That's the goal.
Yeah. So we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive.
Yeah.
We went from the nuts and bolts of personal credit scores
Yeah.
to the much broader
Yeah.
societal and global implications of credit.
Yeah, it's all connected.
It really is. And I
Yeah.
think the key takeaway here
What is it?
is that credit is a powerful tool.
Is.
It can be used for good
Uh-huh.
or for bad. And understanding how it works,
Yeah.
both on a personal level
Uh-huh.
and a societal level, is essential for making informed decisions.
Informed financial decisions.
Yeah, and advocating for a more just and equitable financial system.
That's what we want.
That's what we want.
Yeah.
You've given us a lot to think about.
I hope so.
And I really hope our listeners feel empowered
Yeah.
to take control of their credit
Absolutely.
and use it wisely
Yeah.
to achieve their financial goals.
Those goals.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us on the deep dive.
Thanks for having me.